Hello everyone, hope you're well and hope your preparations for Christmas are coming together. And I just wanted to take a few minutes really just to let you know what's around the corner in January 2020. We've got plans and events happening. And I think looking back over the last few months, it's been a really positive autumn together. If you remember at the beginning of the autumn, we really felt reminded of that story of Jacob and Rachel and Leah, and the way in which Jacob had for several years, worked hard, at experienced some ups and downs, some very real disappointments, and then there was a fresh season where he began to see the fulfillment to many of the dreams that he'd been carrying with him for many years, and came into a kind of season of grace really. And I feel that we've been really enjoying a fresh season of God's grace. We look forward to that continuing into 2020. And we have a new series planned in the beginning of the year. On January the 5th, the Sunday, there will be no Messy Church on that first Sunday in January because we're going to gather all together right at the beginning of the year, look forward to the year ahead, and launch our new series, which we're calling Joyful. So we're looking at the theme of joy, which is obviously a major theme right the way through the Old and particularly the New Testament. And thinking about and coming into what it really means for us to live in the light of God's goodness as His people and as a community together. I think it's a really relevant theme, particularly in the light of the fact that the world around us and the society that we live in, is more affluent than it's ever been, and yet at one and the same time, there are clear signs that people are unhappy and struggling with all sorts of issues to do with stress and depression and so on. And so I want to encourage you to come expectant, be praying into this. We're going to stick with it right the way through to the first kind of half of the year. So that's on January the 5th. We will also have our all-age Hot Pot Sundays again, middle of the month, January, February and March, as usual. And on January the 7th, on the Tuesday, we will be hosting the first evening of the recovery course, 15-week course on Tuesday evenings from 7 p.m. For anyone really that's struggling with cycles of behaviour that they want to find freedom in. And I want to encourage you, if you've got friends or you yourself would benefit from that, to get yourself signed up. It's not just the traditional types of addiction that we initially think of in terms of alcoholism or drug misuse. Maybe some of the more acceptable, socially acceptable forms of addiction that we can fall into in our lives. It may be shopping, it may be eating disorders, it may be social media use. It can really be anything that you feel that you're unable to put down. And so that would be a great course for you to be on. January the 17th, we're going to have a half night of prayer and worship here, 8 till 12, and just setting out, the beginning of the year, dependent on God, praying into His promises and looking for some space and time just to really hear from Him together as a community. So do join us. And then towards the end of January, on Saturday the 25th, we have what we call our Vision and Values Day. That's really for anyone who's not done that but is a regular part of the church, wants to understand what our core values and vision are, and is thinking about exploring whether or not Junction Church is the community that you want to become a part of. That will be Saturday the 25th of January from 10 till 2:30 with a free lunch for anyone who comes during that day. And then the following day, the 26th, in the evening, 7:30 p.m, we have our next church update meeting, an opportunity to share and reflect back some important information, news, look ahead, and bring to your attention some important plans for the year as well. So do plan to join us on that evening. I'll have a great Christmas. Look forward to enjoying a final weekend of Christmas events, and then we will be meeting on December the 29th. We'll have a shorter meeting in the morning with activity tables for the kids for anyone that's around between Christmas and New Year and wants to come and gather and worship together. We will be meeting then. But we look forward to seeing you, if not on January the 5th. We'll gather all together, looking ahead to the new year, launching a new series, and let's be expectant for all that God's going to do in us in 2020.